Welcome, everybody, to the GamezAttack podcast, episode 112, here on OldFreakyGamer.com. This podcast name is Asha Sharma, Xbox's Grim Reaper. How is it going, everybody? I am recording this podcast on July the 4th, America's 250th birthday, people. Hell yeah. Even though there's not much to celebrate. Well, there is a lot to celebrate, but in the gaming industry, I don't know. It's been pretty yeesh. It's been pretty yeesh in the gaming industry right now with all the stuff going on. But we're gonna do this podcast, and I'm hoping to do it quickly-ish. Because I am going to be celebrating what I want to do, playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I've been neglecting to play that for a little bit. Just been too busy, and then I want to focus on playing it. So today I am going to be playing that while watching Independence Day, the movie with Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, and all the other people out in that movie. Gonna watch that. Gonna watch a bunch of movies, have some fun, mostly gaming, eating a lot of sausages, gonna go do some grilling today. It's not as hot as the rest of the week was today for now. Doesn't matter to me. AC's on. But I got to go outside sometimes because I'm getting those cold headaches because I'm particularly not that great in the cold weather and cold indoors, anything cold, too much cold, bad for Mr. Mike. I do not mind the hot and muggy. I actually sleep better in the hot and muggy. I actually can relax better. I don't know. I think it just makes my blood flow and boil better throughout my cold, dead body of mine. And I don't know. I just feel a whole lot better in the heat and mugginess. Now, there is a point where you gotta say, okay, too much is too much. So I try not to overdo it, but, I'll probably try to end up outside. I'm not gonna go see the fireworks tonight. Been seeing fireworks for many years and filming them. I rather like blowing them off myself, but probably be outside, relaxing on the porch deck, hopefully tonight, depending on how hot it is or muggy or too many bugs or whatever. And depending on, I'm sure neighbors across the street are going to blow off their fireworks. They usually do that during the 4th. So I am probably going to try to, sit out there, try to play a video game. Be the perfect time to play using my VR goggles or something like that. My VR AR goggles, which I hardly used, but I think I'm keeping them because I will be using them eventually. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep those things. They're decent enough and they're cheap enough. It's like whatever. And if something else better comes down the road, I can always just probably sell them on eBay or something like that. Isn't that the thing? Sell what you don't want on eBay. But I'm gonna keep them for now and see if they work out for me. They're okay. They're not the greatest. And like I said, I got these Ray-Ban glasses, which these are prescription, and I want a pair of glasses, VR AR glasses that you can do gaming with and stuff that you can hook up to my Xbox ROG LAX and stuff. And I want to be able to have that video wrap around my glasses. I want it to be the whole glass and not just little windows inside of the thing, because you can see, the endpoints and stuff like that. And I just want the full screen experience, which I guess those Real X glasses from Asus/Real were, I guess, touting, but I heard there's some issues with those, I guess. I don't know. I want to see what if they go down in price at all down the road, the near future, because I'm not spending no $600+ on those glasses first off still. And I want to see what more people say about them. And there's got to be some other not goggles. I want glasses. I don't really want goggles. I don't want to be because I know goggles would probably do what I want to do, but I don't want those big ass goggles on my head. And, that's not what I want. I want some glasses. So we'll see. And like I said, these Neo Ray glasses, they seem to do a decent job. So I'm not gonna, like I said, I'll be using them eventually. I know I will. So that is my story on those. Games. We're just gonna quickly go through the games. I didn't play, like I said, I didn't play much this week. Another busy week, especially with heat and stuff. And I've been doing so much stuff. I just been playing very few games during the week, which I should update this list. I always have to update my list. So the games played this week, more than I thought. A few more than I thought, but I was just going through a few of them, playing a little bit here and there when I had a little bit of time. And I like to play games. I always like a lot of games that I can play where I could just play little bits and pieces of them when I don't have time, and then just play a little bit and then drop it, play a little bit, drop it, go on to something else, or come back to it another time. I like those types of games, and that's what most of this list is evolved with, except for probably two of them. Still playing PowerWash Simulator 2. Been doing, what have I been doing? Not the theater, but I got the theater. The theater is another one that's going to be next. But what am I doing now at that? I'm doing one of the other power washing things in PowerWash Simulator 2. I forgot what it was. It wasn't the theater. It was something else. It was not the gas station, the motel. Yes, motel. Then I'll be doing the theater. So yeah, that's where I'm at in PowerWash Simulator 2. You can look all that stuff up on how many things are left. There should be still quite a few, but yeah, I've been cranking a little bit through that. Love playing that. That's a good pickup, play a little bit, and then drop kind of game is PowerWash Simulator 2, because you don't have to really spend time playing that game. You could just play for a little bit of time, boot it up, play it for a little bit of time, then you're done. Of course, all these games I've been playing on my Xbox ROG Ally X handheld. So just letting you guys know, been playing each and every one of these games on my Xbox ROG Ally X handheld. Except for two, sort of. Well, Xnay that. One I'm actually playing both on console and remote play on the Xbox ROG Ally X. So technically BulletStorm, which is my next game, which I've been playing heavily through. And I think I'm getting closer to the end of that game. I think I'm on whatever, Act 4 or 5, whatever it is. That game gets frustrating at times. It's like, wow, sometimes these enemies are just really bullshit, gung-ho enemies. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? It's like, what? And that what's her name? Rashida, whatever. Either she's getting fucked up, abused, whatever. She's ready to fuck me. I don't know. My main character, he's just like, I just want to tap that ass, and she's just like, fuck you. She's like a teenager, even though she's supposed to be sort of an adult. But I guess we're looking for who killed her dad or something. But she's like a young adult or something, teenage adult, whatever. She's got that F you, fuck you, fuck you. She's got more of a potty mouth than the main character does half the time. And it's like, wow, Rakita, whatever your name is. Okay, calm it down, girl. Jeez. You need to get a little bit so you can calm down a little bit. Jeez. But BulletStorm is just everywhere. It's got some fucked up enemies, and it's just like, I want to like it, but there's a lot of things I don't like about it that they could have tightened up a bit, that they could have made better. Mostly with the weapons. Like, sometimes these weapons don't do jack shit to a lot of these enemies, and it's like, it's hard to understand how to get to fight certain enemies if they don't actually give you a little bit of a hint, and then you're just playing and dying and dying and dying. And then some enemies are just fucking bullshit when it comes to fighting, because they're just like, you want to slide around a guy, like you got to hit these big guys, but you can only hit them in their backpack behind you, and they turn around so fucking quickly. It's like, by the time I slide to the back of them, they're already turned around. And it's like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to shoot that? And I'm just trying aimlessly wasting bullets like crazy, just shooting around them or waiting for them to get near like some a bomb or something, some one of those explosive, bombs that just lay around there, and I just want to blow them up, and it's just one after another little bullshit things, or else the zombie like infected things, the flood, I'll call them the flood of BulletStorm, just come and they just all come at once and ravage you, and your team. You got two other people. You got the lady and your friend, ex-friend, whatever, just ally guy, half robot. You would think they would handle some of these bad, evil things, but it seems like they don't do shit to the enemies most of the time. Like they just don't do anything to these enemies, and it's like, come on, guys, be my fucking backup, for crying out loud. There's three of us, and you guys aren't doing jack to shit. And you got one guy that's half fucking cyborg and shit, and he don't do jack shit. He's trying to jack shit the fucking lady all the time, but he's not doing jack shit to anything else. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's a frustrating game. It's not like When People Can Fly made Gears of War Judgment, which I liked a lot more than this game. And that's why I bounced off it the first time, but I am trying to get through it. I am plowing through. There are some decent points, I'm going to say, in this game. I know people decently like this game. I guess not enough to make a BulletStorm 2, but, it's just got its quirks to it. It was a game of its time, and, I'm playing through it. I'll beat it eventually, but it's just like there's some bullshit in this game that I just really did not like. And, like I said, that run and gun kind of stuff, trying to slide, it is very janky, very, very janky, and they could have did a lot better, especially when they're trying to rip off the Gears of War characters a bit with their costumes and all that, and how they look and talk and all that. They could have did a little bit better job. And some of the weapons just started just plain out useless, or you can't get them. It's like, it's craziness. It's craziness. But I've been playing a bit more of that, very close to beating it. So who knows? I'll probably beat it by the next podcast. Let's just say, this one, Red Dead Redemption, been playing on PC. That's the second game I have not been playing on my Xbox ROG X. But you never know. I might start doing that sooner than later. I don't know. That is still a fun game. It has its quirks too, but it's still a very fun game, and I've been streaming it for the past couple weeks, but upcoming for this week, this upcoming Friday, I will be streaming another game, totally different. I will be streaming Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, first gameplay this Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here at OldFreakyGamer.com, on YouTube.com/OldFreakyGamer-2023, or just type in OldFreakyGamer, and Twitch.tv/OldFreakyGamer. So get ready for some more Assassin's Creeding, because I am probably, and I'm hoping I'm going to like this game, because if I do, this is going to be my next super stream main game going forward after that. That's what I'm going to be playing going forward, is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I'm going to do some pirating, because I like my pirate games when they're really good. And it makes you wonder why I'm not playing stuff like Skull and Bones, which I hear is still dog shit, but they're still supporting. I guess some people like it. And you're probably also wondering why, Mr. Mike, you're not playing that Sea of Thieves game, because you need friends with that. And I don't have any gaming friends that play that, so I don't play Sea of Thieves. That's another reason why. And it would kind of be kind of lame to play it by myself, I would think. But otherwise, I do like good old pirate games, and, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I want to like it. I was going to like it before, but the controls, everything about it was crappy. I'm hoping, after paying $20-something for this game, that it's really good. Like I said, I only paid $20-something because I have my gift card, my reward points for the gift card. So we'll see. And we'll see this Friday when I do a first gameplay of that. But going back to Red Dead Redemption for PC, eventually I'll get back to streaming that game again down the road. It's not like it's going anywhere. It seems a lot more empty, open and empty then I remembered it. I thought there was a lot more missions, but maybe I was just because I was doing more of the side quests and all that and talking to the side people, but I remember that game to be a lot more full of stuff, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding that game, but it seems like, wow, okay, I got to go all the way across the map to get to that next mission, or I got to go all the way on this side to get to this mission. And I'm like, huh, I thought there was more stuff to do along the way and more people, but I guess not. Anyways, still fun game. Still fun to be a cowboy. Don't you want to be a cowboy? Yep. Then Vampire Crawlers got back into that because I wanted to get another bunch of points, reward points for completing one of the tasks, which was to fill up a card for what was it, for the week, month, whatever it is, to play a week's worth of let's see here, what does it say? I forget what this one, Game Pass monthly 4-pack. Yes, that's what it's called. For the Game Pass monthly 4-pack, you get 80 bonus points for that. And then when I complete the Game Pass monthly 8-pack, I get 560 bonus points, which I think I will try to do either today or tomorrow or something like that, because why not? I got enough Game Pass games to play or try out to do that. I always do. And that's what I do. And that's why I went back to Vampire Crawlers, because it's a fun game, very fun game. And yeah, like I said, I ate my words of before when I was looking at it. I was like, I wasn't interested in it. I kept saying, this game ain't no Vampire Survivors. And then I play it. I'm like, damn, it's just as good as Vampire Survivors, but with cards. It's the only fucking card game so far that I like, because I hate most card games that come out for video games, and this one is not bad at all. They do a really good job. I think the other one that I really like for the card with the card thing is that what's it called? It's that karate film, whatever, Karate Survivors. Is that what it's called? Kung Fu or Karate Survivors, where you're playing as this kung fu guy in a kung fu movie, and you get these cards and you add them to your thing, and he does the animation thing, and it goes through the little animation reel as he's fighting people and stuff. That's pretty fun as well. I should get back to that one day, but yeah, Vampire Crawlers still good. They got me again for now. I want to see how much I can advance in that, but still a fun game. I gotta give it to them. For the people that make Vampire Survivors, Vampire Crawlers, pretty damn good game. Been playing that in the Raw Galley X and Terra Tech Legion. You know, the game that now I'm guessing all these streamers and people keep starting to talk about. All the game industry people keep talking about now. They're like, oh man, this game is fun. You guys gotta try out this Terra Tech Legion game. I know. I talked about it a long time ago, and I heard it from somebody else that talked about it even longer ago than me, because this game's been out for a little while. And yes, it's a great game. It's a fun game. It's like Vampire Survivors with battle bots, where you're putting together your own battle bots. A lot of people have been saying Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. I'm saying like a battle bots game that meets like Transformers in a little way. Well, I shouldn't really say Transformers, because it's not like it transforms. You put the parts, but it's more like a BattleBots meets a Vampire Survivors-esque game. It's really good. It can get really difficult at times, and it is fun, and it plays very well on the Xbox ROG LAX handheld. And then finally, I've been playing a little niche. I got back into some more Forza Horizon 6. I've been neglecting it for a very long time, but I got back into the steering wheel of my car and did a little racing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, searching, unlocking roads. I got to get back more into this game because it's been a little while, and damn, it's a good game. The Forza Horizon games are always really good. I just gotta get back into it. But I've been playing some other games, some other major games, so that's why I have not been really going too crazy with playing stuff like Forza Horizon, because I know that will be around for a very, very long time. Very, very long time. So why would I have to go back into that at all? For a little bit, I can hold off playing that game because it's not like it's going anywhere. They're not going to delist it or take it off the site because it just came out, and it's an Xbox first party game, so it's not like it's going anywhere. Unlike all these other games and stuff that might be going and studios and stuff and things, and I'm getting that cold, dark chill down my back right now, where I don't want this to be just rumors and stuff, but I've been listening to the podcast. I've been listening to others talk about this in the industry. I've been hearing people's voices about this, and I heard somebody else say this once too, that could Asha Sharma truly be the Grim Reaper of Xbox for Xbox? Because of what, at first I'm like, okay, she's there, she's paying attention, she's interested, she doesn't have the pedigree of a knowledge of games and the gaming industry as others, but she does have Matt Booty to help her along the way. She kept him around. A lot of the other people on her team that she brought in are not, I guess, I wouldn't say gamers because we do not know. They could be gamers, but they're not from the games industry or the games division. They're from the AI division or something else. And she's known as a cutthroat business kind of a woman. She's just very, very just by the book. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to do what I got to do to make this business work. You know, she's young. She's already did a lot, I guess, in her past tenure. People keep saying, oh, she's super rich already. She's already got a ton of money. So she doesn't really need to or care to have to worry about this stuff. But it's just what she likes to do. She likes to take on challenges, I guess. And I'm wondering, and I'm going to pause this for a quick second. You won't notice a thing. And I'm just wondering if she is not doing the whole smoke and mirrors. Look at this, and I'm going to do something, and I'm going to, do the whole look in this direction, and I'm going to do the misdirection thing on everything, where she's like, hey guys, look at this. I'll give you this. I'll do this. I'll do this. And then behind the scenes, she's just going to kill studios, going to kill projects, going to kill this and that. Cut. And I'm wondering if she's the Grim Reaper of Xbox by killing things, not shrinking Xbox back down to a point where it's just a niche thing. Because remember, you got Satan Nadella, which I got behind me, looking over my shoulder there. You got Mr. I Love AI, Satan Nadella over there. He does not care about the fucking gaming industry. He does not care about gaming. He's just has to pretend a little bit that he cares. He just cares about the business aspect of what it can make money for Microsoft, for those shareholders that don't have any goddamn idea or care about anything in the business except to make money, which for me, as I can now say, as shareholder of various stocks and stuff like that, very small minor shareholder, I care about financials, but I also care about the business, because when I buy some stock into some company or whatnot, I look at what they do. I pick on what they do because I'm thinking this company could be important for this reason, and this is what they're doing. This is why I want this company. Now, the shareholders should know that Microsoft, big first software company first, then they used to be a big semi-hardware company second before they started killing off all the hardware division, except for leaving to the Surface tablets and stuff like that and Xbox. Now they just want to be this whole AI bullshit, which of course they're investing billions more on this other AI project bullshit. It's like, okay, another 2 point what billion for your AI bullshit initiative. Okay, fuck off. Fuck off, Satan Nadella. Fuck off. Stop killing what you you guys have profited from. You're going to kill Microsoft. I frankly think Microsoft's going to not fully die, but it's going to be in critical condition one day. I bet you Microsoft will. And if it gets that bad, could you see Microsoft going away? A company that got so big, that got so powerful, that had so many great products and diversity and a lot of stuff, now all into the stupid AI initiative that is sucking the passion, the whole concept of Microsoft. It's just sucking it all away. It's sucking the soul of that company away piece by piece. And of course, unfortunately, the Xbox division is getting the most of the blunt of it right now because they think, oh, it's all about got to have the most profit on everything. It can't just be a little bit of profit. No, they can't accept that it's just making money. No, it's got to make a certain amount of money to make sense to a soulless corporation like Microsoft is amongst corporations, because most corporations are soulless because they are owned by a bunch of soulless shareholders that just demand fast profits, all that stuff, and don't give a shit about the concept of the company that they're doing the buying the shares from. They just want to see quick growth and quick returns instead of just letting it naturally grow and then get good profits to keep a strong fan base, a strong consumer base going, so they can keep funneling in more money and ups the shares, ups your profiteering and stuff like that. But no, they don't care about that. They just want, oh, I hear AI good, I hear good. You better do AI, and you better do it a lot because it'll make us money. AI, and then you got Windows going down the drain. You got Office going down the drain. Xbox going down the drain. Everything else going down the drain because the hell he's saying is AI. You got to do AI initiative, AI this, more servers, more of these data centers. Let's kill the planet with our data centers. Let's heat it up. Let's take away everybody's electricity and water for these stupid AI data centers. Let's take away people's jobs. And you hear about it from me and many other people over and over again. And this is not just, Microsoft is the biggest defier of this kind of bullshit, but, you got all the other companies out there. At least these AI companies that are just AI companies are just doing AI because that's their company. Microsoft's just doing it because it's the next thing and we have to do it because it's going to be big. It's going to make us a ton of money, which is fake. It's all fictitious. It's all a money pit, a virtual money pit. And all they're going to do is hurt and kill the industries they're already killing themselves. And then when they finally figure out that nobody wants their bullshit AI and products and stuff, and they spent all those billions and billions of dollars, what's going to happen? Well, Satya Nadella might get pushed out of the company because it's like, oh, you failed. You're gone, maybe, which, frankly, I don't know. I liked him at first, but then after a while, I'm like, yeah, okay, you just went and jumped off the rails. You really went off the rails, Satya Nadella. And, it could, like I said, I could see a world where Microsoft is gone, and then you just see somebody else buy like the Windows product and putting it out there, new company. Microsoft could be sold off, down the road. If people even want Windows anymore, because it's all about Linux, and I'm thinking, if they can make Linux more Windows-like in its nature and how it could update and how things, and it can make a few things easier in that, I can maybe foresee a future where I am just running Linux. If I can run all this stuff that I have on my computer right now in Linux, and that means games will eventually have to be fully runnable in Linux, new and old games, and they have to do a great job at doing what Microsoft does with Windows in the Linux community, then I would do Linux. Then I would go over to Linux, and then I'd be one of those Linux people. But I'm still a Windows person. I still believe in Windows, even though they haven't given much belief in anything. I still believe in Xbox, but is Asha Sharma the Grim Reaper of Xbox? Is she going to kill too many studios? Is she going to shut down decent projects like we're hearing? And we're not really knowing yet, but according to the reports, like from IGN here, apparently Xbox is reportedly considering canceling Marvel's Blade game, which, if you don't know, Blade is a big property in the Marvel universe. I love the Wesley Snipes Blade movies. I know people like that new Blade guy that was doing some Blade stuff, but never made the movie. They never got to make the new movies. And they're also planning on shutting down Arcane Studios, which is a part of Bethesda that is making the Blade game. And I'm like, that would be the dumbest fucking thing you could do. Asha Sharma, Microsoft, all that, Xbox. That'd be the dumbest fucking shit. And this is going to be on my list here. Here, hold on. Let me do this. That's my sad trombone there. That would be the dumbest fucking shit you would ever do. When you see what Sony does with the Marvel properties and licenses over there, with the Spider-Man, this could be your fucking Spider-Man, Microsoft, Xbox. Marvel's Blade could be your fucking Spider-Man. But if you fucking kill that game and you shut down that studio, Arcane, which makes decent games for Bethesda, by the way, a good studio, then you fucking don't have it. You don't have it anymore. That means you guys are considering killing Xbox, which, of course, Satan Nadell would love. I would say just spin it off or I don't know who you would sell Xbox to, because you would need a fucking shit ton of money to buy that, because you got to get all the servers, you got to do it. That's a lot of work, and I would hesitate to see whoever would buy that. I would say maybe Elon Musk. He's got more money than God right now, so he could buy the Xbox brand and stuff like that if he really wanted to. He said he was a gamer. Why don't he buy that? You know, he's worried about SpaceX, but shit, worry about the gamers. Worry about the gamers, Elon. Buy Xbox. I would love to see that if he bought Xbox. But if they shut the project down, if they cancel Blade, the Blade game, and they shut down Arcane Studios, even though we have not seen jack shit from Blade in the Blade game, even though I guess Todd Howard did. He went over there. He was overlooking the Blade game, and he says it was looking really good, that he was very interested in it. If they shut that down and they close down Arcade, or they sell them off or whatever, I would say fuck that amongst other people, because then that means you do not want the Xbox brand to succeed. Asha Sharma you do not want Xbox to succeed, because this would be a good, especially if you put this out only on your console, on the Xbox, and you make it console, Xbox console only game, just like Sony makes the Spider-Man games. Well, they did eventually port some of them over, but really they were selling mostly on the PlayStation. If you made that an Xbox first game, and of course you could put it on PC with the Xbox for PC games, but if you did that, then you would have something. You would get people to come back over to Xbox for that. But is she going to do that? I don't know. We don't know nothing. It's like I said, it's Saturday, July 4th now. Their fiscal year has ended. That we were supposed to maybe hear some shit already about if they're shutting down studios, selling them off, closing down, canceling games and stuff, but we haven't really heard anything. It's been pretty silent. And I'm wondering if they're going to wait till Monday of this podcast to do it or something like that, or this week, because they don't want to do it over the holiday and ruin people's holidays and get people pissed off over the 4th of July or something. I don't know. They don't want no fireworks shoved up their asses or something over there, but give it a chance. You got the license to make a Blade game for Marvel and Disney and stuff like that. Do it. You guys already did Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which I got to get back to still. I still got to get back to it and play that. But you guys did that. It's a great game. People love that game. I like the game too. You got to do this. You got to do this and make it happen. And if the game is a great success, then there you go. You did a great job. If it's not such a great success, then, that maybe then you can call it quits with that. But give it a chance. If you don't want to give it a chance and you don't want to invest in something like that, then you better just call the whole thing quits, because you're not going to get any second chances on that. And that is very stupid. At least Hideo Kojima's his game is going to keep happening. I'm surprised by this. I know it's Hideo Kojima, and I guess maybe somebody told her, it's Hideo Kojima. He makes these big ass crazy games that people love. People would freaking slit your throat, Asha, if you canceled his game for Xbox. But Hideo Kojima's Xbox horror game OD is still safe from Microsoft's reset plan, but other games are on the chopping block, they're saying here. I guess he's still making the game, the OD, which I don't know nothing about, and for Xbox, and it's still safe, they said. It's still safe. It's still safe. Unlike other games, which maybe I'll just keep this over here because maybe I'll get back to this as well. Here, I'll go back. I'll put this down here too, because that's in the wrong order here. Then they were talking about how 007 First Light's Hitman developer IO Interactive announced some layoffs after a relationship with an external partner on a fantasy project ended. Apparently that was with Microsoft and Xbox. It was supposed to be like a fantasy game for Xbox, but I guess Xbox cut off funding and all that and canceled the relationship, which is also another bad look into things if you're not investing in interesting new games and such for your platform. Don't we need some new, fresh blood into the platform, people? Do we need it? Do we need it? Now, no, I can also say how many people are buying many of these games anyways, how many people are playing these games anyways. People are fickle. People don't have money across the board. And, I could talk about Microsoft all the time, but also Sony's been laying off and doing some stuff similar to this, but on a very smaller scale. And you don't hear about Nintendo laying off people or getting studios closed because they do a lot of contract work. So stuff like that. But when you hear about this, and we all know it was only Microsoft, it wasn't a Sony, it wasn't a Nintendo, it was a Microsoft doing something like that. That's a slippery slope right there. Microsoft reported planning thousands of layoffs as it spends more on AI. This is from MSN, from MarketWatch. Microsoft reported planning to announce thousands of layoffs as the company aims to increase spending on artificial intelligence because, they want to just keep doubling down. They want to keep putting more money on black. They want that blackie. I love AI. Mr. Satan Nadella himself just wants to keep putting more money on that, wasting more of the company's finances to a thing that's not going to be ever profitable for the company. But yet they keep doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on it. I've said it many times. If they would have just focused on what they were focusing on, like the games divisions, all their other divisions, and then doing AI on the side as a side thing and just putting a little bit of money into it here and there, doing the partnerships with, like the open AI and all that and, stuff like that, and not just going, gung-ho and crazy on just doing all AI bullshit, that company would still be good. Microsoft would still be a decent company, and they wouldn't be going, we're spending all this money on this nothing. And I'm surprised the shareholders and stuff don't stop it, unless if they're so blind of what Microsoft and Satya Nadella and the board and, what's her name, the CFO, the money lady. I'm surprised they're not coming at them with pitchforks that saying, stop spending our money on this AI bullshit. Slow it down, put it to the side, work on your other projects, work on all the stuff that makes this company money, like Windows, Office, and Xbox, which once did before you guys fucked it all up. But they're not doing that. So I guess they're thinking in crazy zones here with this shit. One good thing is, which who knows how this is going to ever happen, because if they're going to close down all these studios and get rid of all this help and stuff like that, but there's talks, and this is from IGN, that Xbox is speeding up work on the new Fallout games. One former Bethesda developer warns faster sequels risk fan fatigue, but could New Vegas developer Obsidian be drafted into helping? And Obsidian isn't working on any new Avowed game or Outer Worlds 3 or anything like that right now, so they're open to do another Fallout game right now. And whatever happened to those original Fallout games that we heard about that were getting remastered? Wasn't Fallout 3 supposed to be in the works for getting remastered or something? And then we were supposed to see it come out eventually, sooner or eventually. I've been hearing that on and off again. I don't know what's going on with that. I would like to see a Fallout 3 remastered come out, and I would definitely play a Fallout 3 remastered and stuff like that. But I don't know why we're not hearing nothing about that. I don't know. We were hearing a lot about it. I wonder if they killed the project off or something, because that'd be a dumb thing to do for a franchise that you own, that it was very, very big and popular, that you could get new people into the Fallout franchise with. But who knows? But if they're trying to speed up work on some other new Fallout games that isn't Todd Howard and his part of Bethesda doing it, okay. Why weren't you doing it before? Some people, the risk of fatigue. I don't know, because we haven't had a Fallout game in how long now? I don't think we're going to get fatigue from if we get another Fallout game, as long as it's good. It's got to be good. Can't be a shitty Fallout game. It's got to be a good game. I guess there was some news before also that Obsidian Entertainment was at risk of being closed, but that rumor was false. So do not worry. It is not at risk at being closed during the Xbox reset. So we don't have to worry about that, because that would be a stupid thing to do if they were to close a studio like that made Fallout New Vegas, that does all these great games like Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 and stuff like that. Notice I just talked over the first Outer Worlds, because I didn't care for the first Outer Worlds. I liked it up to a point, and then I fell off it. Outer Worlds 2 was good. So I say Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, yes. But also we're hearing that Asha Sharma might be closing, like I said, we said Arcane Lyon and canceling the Blade game, which would be stupid. Double Fine for Psychonauts, Hellblades, Ninja Theory still on the chopping block, maybe. Compulsion Studios. And then we heard, and I think I talked about this the last time. If not, I'm talking about it for the first time. Undead Labs for State of Decay 3, I'm hearing, is on the chopping block, and the game to be maybe canceled, even though they just showed it at the Xbox Showcase of 2026. The Xbox Game Showcase of 2026. And that would make one Brad Shoemaker really upset and pissed off royally. And I can't not wait to see and hear. Hopefully Brad will come back by this week, onto this week, and I can hear him on the upcoming Next Lander podcast or something, or him in a video talking, oh guys, I'm really fucking pissed and upset. I think Microsoft can eat a dick. I think Xbox and Microsoft can eat a big fucking dick. I was so looking forward and so ready for State of Decay 3, and now they fucking canceled it and closed Undead Labs. I am fucking pissed. I'm just livid, pissed. Fuck that. Fuck all that. I can hear him say that. I can definitely hear him say that. They are also on the labs, and I know a lot of these studios are talking about trying to get themselves sold off or buy themselves or spun off or blah, 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 and try to keep some properties and stuff. But, Microsoft wants to make that money and they can't afford to, even if they go their separate ways, like if they do the whole Bungie thing with all these studios and these studios can buy themselves out or get themselves sold and stuff to other places, if that's even possible, because things are, people don't want to spend money in games right now too much. I don't think they're going to survive. I don't think they can survive outside of the Microsoft, Xbox, community. They can't. I don't think they're going to survive outside that because, Double Fine was its own company and they were almost out of business before. Ninja Theory was its own company, was almost out of business before. Compulsion, I think they were almost out of business as well after that first game that they did. And then when they got bought out, I don't know about Undead Labs. I don't know where they came from, if they were in any trouble, but the rest of those companies, and you got Tim Schafer, Double Fine. It would be stupid to let those companies go, but she wants them gone because they don't make that money for the company overlords that they want it to make. They want everything to be AAA, big blockbuster financial successes, and that is not a thing. They should just be going for hearts and minds and souls of the gamers and going, we want to give you value. We want to get you good games. And hopefully you'll pay and buy a DLC for those games and give us money for those games. But we want to keep gaming alive. We believe in gaming. We believe in this culture, which they do not at the moment. And with this regime at Microsoft, with Satan Nadella at the helm and all that. And then he's got all his minions out there saying, nah. It's all about the money. It's all about the shareholders, the power that is AI. And they don't like the Xbox. That was a Bill Gates, maybe Steve Ballmer. People say it's Steve Ballmer. I'm thinking it's more Bill Gates thing, but Steve Ballmer I'll put in there. It was from the people from the past, like Shane Blackley, all those people from the past of the Xbox. If you watched the G4 original Xbox or the creation of Xbox and all that, you would know it was those people. It was through the people like Phil Spencer and all that kept Xbox going and alive. And it seems like right now they just want to burn all that shit down and they just want AAA things. Same thing with Sony. I'm not going to, like I said, you know how I love to hate on Sony right now with their gaming division with PlayStation. They just want all those AAA titles too, and then they're not making too many of these little games anymore. And that's a shame. That's a big shame. And that's what gets a lot of people, especially casual gamers, come over and go, oh, they got a lot of cool little casual games on these platforms. I want to play some of that. A lot of these casual games are perfect for Game Pass. A lot of people have been saying that, and they haven't been, I guess Microsoft has not been, aka Xbox has not been putting much money into Xbox Game Pass future titles, and I guess making deals with studios. I wonder what that's all about, and I wonder how that's gonna shape Game Pass going forward. That's a question mark for my mind, because it's like, what are you gonna try to kill off Game Pass eventually? Because that would be stupid for you guys, and that would make people like me play and spend less on your platform, because I'm not going to be spending $70 on all your first party titles, Microsoft, Xbox. I will not. If it's a game that I feel like I can wait on, I'll wait on it. Sure, I would spend, which I did, I would spend money on like the Gears of War, Halo, stuff like that. But otherwise, if it's newer titles that I just don't know about or whatever, on franchises that I just not super big into, I will wait. I will wait till they come on down in sales and stuff like that. If I buy them at all, I will wait. Um, and a lot of the times I buy the DLC from those games, and you know, like I said, also you can't expect a lot of people to be buying and spending tons of money on games nowadays either, because a lot of people's wallets are so tight up their asses right now because the economy's down, everything's down. Like I said, you can blame AI first. Maybe you can blame the war a little bit, but shit has been hitting the fans left and right since after COVID. After COVID happened, that fucked everything up. And then, like I said, then they all decide, well, let's do AI. And then all the chip companies fucked everything up. That's why you got these chip companies getting sued right now. And then everything else is getting fucked up. So it's not, like I said, it's not just Xbox and Microsoft. It's a lot of other things out there that is going on. And it's not good. It's not good for us people that are true gamers that love to play games, that just don't play one game or these stupid little bullshit phone games and stuff. I don't give a shit what people say. I will never be playing games on my phone. I I don't play games on my phone anymore. So when the smartphone first came out, sure, I played games on it, but now, no, not gonna happen. Last talking, especially with all the turmoil going in under Microsoft, Microsoft's gaming business over at Xbox, and everybody flipping out that their studios might be cut or they might be cut, and games being cut and layoffs and all that. Apparently, unionized Xbox workers demand layoff protections ahead of the expected cuts to Microsoft's gaming business, because they're all worried to shit that they're going to all get laid off and that they're not going to get paid, or they're not going to get enough payment. And, you got job security, insurance and stuff like that. And they're talking about, because they are unionized, the Xbox workers have demanded layoff protections ahead of what is reportedly a significant round of cuts to Microsoft gaming business. According to them, the CWA members have called for immediate bargaining following the reports that sweeping layoffs will be finalized at the end of Microsoft's fiscal year on June 30th. Like I said, we still haven't heard anything. I don't know if they paused anything or they're waiting till after the 4th to do anything, but we haven't heard anything yet beyond this. I guess a Microsoft spokesperson stated to the press that it will continue to negotiate with the CWA to reach agreements across Xbox. We respect the right of our team members to make their voices heard, the spokesperson stated. We have a long track record of good faith partnership with labor organizations, and demonstrated by several finalizing bargaining agreements our teams have reached with the CWA and our labor principles. We are continuing to negotiate in good faith with the CWA to reach agreements across Xbox. Okay, whatever. A bunch of non-jargon bullshit. And Xbox, Microsoft has so many properties, so many gaming properties out there right now. It is fucking ridiculous why they're not just trying to utilize all that. A lot of people keep saying, well, they bought too much stuff, they spent too much, bought too much stuff, they stretched themselves out. Yeah, but that wasn't the worst thing. The thing that kept happening was they kept spending on stupid stuff like this AI initiative that's taken over their whole company, that they're just focusing on, the top brass. Satya Nadella, stupidity up there, has been saying AI is everything in this company, and and firing thousands of people. They're, like I said, they're going to lay off more than thousands of people just to do more AI bullshit, because they're not getting it in their heads. Apparently they're not getting it. Satya Nadella and people are not getting it. The world is not going to accept your AI bullshit. You are not going to make the money off of this thing that you think you're going to make. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be. It can do some interesting to amazing things, but it's not going to be what you think it's going to be, and it's not going to make that money back. You're just putting money in a hole. You're giving that money to people that do not deserve it. You're giving these chip companies tons of money, and then look at what's going on. We're getting chip shortages like crazy. We're getting People are suing them because they're doing collaborations and all this other stuff. People's, like I said, livelihoods are getting destroyed because of AI. You got freaking land going away, you got water going away, you got electricity going away. What more fucking broken record shit has to happen before these people realize what's tampered down on the AI bullshit? Why do they think more and more servers is going to help this AI initiative? It's a bunch of bullshit. Bullshit. A lot of bullshit in the industry. And nobody's telling them, okay, stop it. Tamper it down. Work on what you're supposed to be working on in your company. But nobody gets that. Nobody cares. They're just driving the world into the ground. And AI was supposed to help. You remember all the terms where AI is supposed to help everything and help everybody and financially help everybody, and get people to work less and earn more. That is not a reality. That is fake. That is a book. That is a fairy tale. And people believe that because people are stupid out there. There's a lot of stupidity out in the world, unfortunately. And you're just causing this world to crumble, slowly crumble and fall. And nothing's going to help anybody with that. And with Asha Sharma, she's just going along with the protocol, what she was programmed to do as the soulless crypt keeper that she is. Notice she hasn't said a word to anybody about anything of this. She hasn't said, oh, we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do this and that and help. We don't want to kill all these properties and stuff in studios. We're trying to maybe, even if we do have to close a lot of these studios and stuff, but we're going to try to get these people into different roles at different studios and companies so they can help make great games for you guys. And we're going to try to keep these IPs and use them and stuff. She hasn't said that stuff. She hasn't said, oh, we're just downsizing because we want to save some money for this gaming division. We're not. No, it's just this. Oh, eventually we'll have our next council, which I don't think will ever happen anytime soon, because when you're raising the prices of your current council and stuff in this nightmarish hellscape that is hardware and stuff out there, because none of these companies want to really realize that we need like more memory companies to be put online. We need to get more people out there for solid state storage and memory and chips and stuff like that. But no, that's not a reality. I was listening to the one guy, Paul Thurrott from Twit, on their Windows Weekly thing. He's like, oh, people think that they can just build new chip factories and stuff and that'll work things out. No, that's not cost effective. That ain't good. He's one of those people that thinks that stuff cannot happen and that it would not change anything, that it would take too long. Shit, things can get pushed pretty quickly if people are incentivized and you get people working. The way you think is like how all those Democrats think over there on that side, where we're just going to keep talking about this stuff but not do anything. And that's what all these companies are doing. They're just talking, but nothing's happening. And you're letting problems get worse instead of just saying, hey, let's just focus on this problem. Even if these new chip factories and companies and stuff do not, are not financially, superior. I know they're going to take a little while to build and put online, but at least we're trying to get them built and put online. And we're going to race to do that here in hopefully the United States. And then we can get some people trained up and coached up on how to make and build these memory chips and stuff so we can sell it to consumer market and not just the AI market. It will be more focused on the consumer market and products and services in that market, and not just focus on pure profit and try to, fuck up the world even more. That's what they should be doing, but they're not. They're not doing that. There's no guidelines. There's not these, all these, all big tech could be banding together to try to do this stuff and work together to make better, newer chip fabs in here in the United States or somewhere else close by so we can focus on making chips and then, let those other companies still chase the AI bullshit. Let them waste all their money on it and then just focus on stuff and make chips for consumer products because there's going to be a lot of people that want their consumer products and they want memory chips and computers and gaming consoles and this and that, and your phones. You're going to sell a lot of this shit to these people. I do not understand why nobody wants to take the initiative. And it's upsetting. It's sad. And like I said, even if it slows down in years' time, they're talking about 2030 now. They're pushing it out even farther that this whole chip storage debacle is going to be going on. 2030, people, that's a long ways. I know we're in 2026, but 2030, people, that's 4 years away. 4 years is a long time, technically. But nobody cares. They just want it to keep happening. That's why these people say that. That's why Paul Thurrott says this. Even though he's trying to make you believe he doesn't think, you don't give a shit. He's just one of those people that's a no, can never happen. That's why he's doing what he's doing. He just reports things. That's why he doesn't build chip fabs. If I had the money, if I had the Elon Musk money and I had the knowledge and the people, I'd be building a chip fab. But I don't. I know how basic chips work and how basic memory works and stuff like that, but, I wouldn't even know where to begin. If I was in that industry and I knew how to do it, I knew the right people, oh, damn fucking right, I'd be starting up a chip fab, even if it wasn't even going to be super profitable in the future. I would try to innovate. I'd try to make chips at cheaper prices for consumer electronics, and I bet you I'd be reaping the rewards in the consumer market because I'd be like, everybody needs chips. All these video game consoles, all these smartphones, all these products need chips, storage, stuff like that. And I'd be reaping those rewards while the AI people keeps, doing that and they could sell the AI bullshit. I would only sell to consumer electronics and products and I'd be like, hey, good business, good money. But anyways, that's my belief. I think it's stupid. It's stupid human negativity think out there. I'm mostly a positive thinker, even though I know the whole Asha Sharma, we're going to try to kill off Xbox. If she even, I haven't heard anything. Like I said, I haven't heard anything from this lady. Nothing. It's been silent from her. And that's not good. That's kind of sad, worrisome, but haven't heard a thing. Not her saying, well, we're trying not to kill these companies, inside of Microsoft, Xbox. We're trying to maybe spin off Xbox still. I still think they should try to spin it off as its own company. Like I said, Google did it to themselves where they made Alphabet as their top company, and then they spinned off Google Fiber, and then they spinned off Google and other divisions of that company into multiple of their own little companies. I don't understand why Microsoft can't do that too. And then let Xbox be its own thing, not worry about the financials of the major corporation. Let it do its thing. Let it make some money, decent money. Fine. It doesn't have to go gangbusters. And then eventually maybe they can figure things out over there, get some good games. Maybe they can eventually make some consoles again and stuff and make them cheap enough and get people to want to game with them again. And, but that's how I think. I don't know. Like I said, as of right now, looking online, checking out all the news stories from various news outlets out there in the gaming world and the electronics world, stuff like that. I'm not seeing a damn thing about any of these closures or cancellations yet. Like I said, it's probably going to happen right after this podcast goes up on Monday. So we'll see. That's why I waited to do it on Saturday, because I thought they would have did something, but I can also understand maybe they don't want to ruin people's 4th of July holiday. I don't know. We'll see. It's just a little sad and scary. I, like I said, I want to think positively because I still like Xbox as the brand. I still like the games that I play, and I buy a lot of games and a lot of content on Xbox. It's just I feel like that sad little boy in the picture behind me, where I'm like, oh, Xbox dead. They killed Asha Sharma, the Grim Reaper of Xbox, killed Xbox. I'd be so sad. I'd be like that little kid. I'd just be sitting next to the Xbox's grave going, anyway, talked enough sorrow about that. Let's talk about more sadness and sort of, for most people, a lot of people are also hating on PlayStation and Sony a little bit more. At least that's in the news. At least I could get my little chunk out of them for wanting to do this because they probably felt like, Xbox is really in the dumps right now. Nintendo, we don't worry about. Who's gonna say no to us now? We're like the top dog here. But Sony just announced that it's killing discs, physical discs. Production's going to end in 2028 for new games releasing on the PlayStation consoles because they're gonna go all digital. Also, people are thinking that might in turn, the 2028 would in turn that Sony's shock. I don't know why it's such a shock. I kind of figured it would be going in this direction, especially I thought it would be going in this direction a little while ago, a little bit farther ago, but my notion on physical disc-based media. Sure, I would love physical games, physical discs for my games. I would love that. I would love it to still buy physical games. But even I found out and knew for a while that a lot of the games that I get on discs, most of that stuff is still downloaded off the internet. Most of the games are updated and downloaded off the internet. I look at installations just on my Xbox and stuff. When I popped in my Xbox Series X disc and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, it's got to download how much? That's more than the disc. And it's doing a little bit of installation on the disc, and then it's doing a lot of downloading and installation from the internet. And I'm watching, and I'm like, oh, the disc has been fully installed, but now it's still downloading and installing the rest of the game from the internet. And I'm like, wow, there must have not been that much on the disc to begin with, because they can't fit all that content on discs, and games are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is also probably one of those reasons why games are getting more expensive and to make, and people want to raise the prices on games all the time. And that's why the industry is where it is, because they're making these games too big and too expensive. And then consumers want to wait for super deals or some way to buy them cheaper. They're not evolving with the industry's not evolving with how people game and how people want to get their games and stuff like that. For me, like I said, I got a fast internet connection. I can just download everything. I got the storage on my Xbox and my computers and stuff, so I'm not worried about that. More so, I'm more of physical media for my movies and music. Sometimes I'll buy CDs. I should buy more CDs, but you can buy MP3s, which is great because you can buy them, download them to my hard drive, and I don't ever have to worry about them. I do own them. They're not physical, but they're a part of a digital thing where I actually have them. They're not just sitting on a thing that is not owned by me. Unlike a console where your game is downloaded to your console, but you can't, if the console goes away, the service goes away or whatever, you cannot play your game. Or if they decide they want to discontinue the licensing, you can lose your games and stuff. But unfortunately, like I said, games are super big. It's not like back on the 360 and Xbox One and PS3 days, and maybe PS4 somewhat, that you can just take a disc, put it into any console, play it, give it to your friend, they can play it. Stuff like that. It's not like that anymore because games are so big. And if we want these games to be really big and really good and really, good looking and all this stuff and, stuff like that, I don't know. My thing is, What I am predicting, what they not predicting, what I'm asking, if anybody out there listens to this that has some actual importance in the gaming industry, why don't we float the idea of this going forward? Now, no, these new consoles probably won't have disk drives if that's what they're saying. And I got reports, I'll be talking about a little bit more on that issue, but apparently that means these new consoles are not going to have disk drives for their media going forward for the PS6 and the Xbox Helix and stuff like that. That means they are going to probably, like I said, they're going to be all digital. But if they were to have still disk drives in these next gen consoles going forward, why not? Why didn't they just do this? Why doesn't Sony and Microsoft do this when the games get old enough, when all the updates are pretty much done and the patches are all done for these games? And they can make a lot of money doing the double dipping on this, or if people want to wait that much longer to play those certain titles on their consoles and stuff, like the first party titles or whatever, why don't they just, put out the games digitally, let people buy them, blah, 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 play them and stuff. And then when they're all patched and all that and everything's done and they're done, fully done with those games, bring them out in a special edition disc. They can be called special edition discs with cool artwork, blah, 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 everything on the discs. And then you can have more than one disc and then sell it at whatever, your $70 or premium or whatever like that. I think gamers would go for that. I think gamers would be like, okay, you're going to release the game now. And it's going to be updated over time. And then eventually when those games are done being updated and, patched and whatnot, and you guys are completely done with the game and it's been out forever, then you make a physical copy of those games, a special edition physical copy, and you sell it to us for whatever money you think it's worth. And then we buy it again from you guys down the road, and then you make more money. Why don't they do that? I would accept that. Sure, that's double dipping, and I'm sure some gamers would be like, oh, why do I got to pay full price for this game again, even though it's been out for so long? Well, you're paying for the chance to own it physically, so you can play it from your 4 or 6 discs, or depending on how big the game is, and you can play it forever on your console, because it'll be a physical copy of that down the road, and it's not just the digital, but you're paying full price for the digital because it just came out. So that would make more sense to me. I would accept a world like that. I know a lot of people are probably thinking and looking at me right now going, what the fuck are you talking about? Bozo, you want them to double dip? Hey, they're complaining they're not making enough money off of these games. So why not make that one of your new decisions? If I was ahead of these console manufacturers and publishing and stamping discs for my console and stuff, I'd be like, hey, putting all these games out digitally over time, when the game gets old enough and it feels like it's done being patched and we're done doing all this stuff and we're not seeing anything, we're gonna press a disc down the road, make it a special edition disc for the games that are worthy of it. They got to sell a lot of copies digitally we want to make sure they sell enough copies to be worth it, because if they don't, then we'll just keep them digital. We'll keep that game digital, because if nobody really cares about the game, we'll just leave that as just a digital only game. And then the ones that are sold a lot, we'll just come out with a special edition disc like they do from that other company that makes those offshoot games. Print it, press it, print them, sell them off for $70 or more, depending if you make a collector's edition of it. There you go. That's more money in your pockets. That's more money in your studio's pockets. That's more money in the gaming industry pockets. And people will pay it. People will do it. I've seen it. But what do I know? What do I know about that? Also, with the decision to kill discs in 2028, apparently analysts are predicting that 2028 or even 2029 could be the year. A lot more of the 2028 could be the year that is when the PS6 probably will be coming out, and it might be a discless console. Or if they do their handheld first. We do not know yet. And plus, then you got the AI RAM apocalypse going on right now, so we do not know what's going to happen with that, but they're saying 2028 could be the possibility of when the PS6 or PS whatever portable is going to be announced, shown off, and put out. So, Microsoft will be the same way. More PlayStation talk here in news. Will PS6 be like the Nintendo Switch? Sony states that its next-gen console will enable a seamless experience that can be enjoyed naturally beyond the living room. So does that mean it's going to be Switch-like the next console, actually, and not just the console? Could the console be also the portable? Where, and a lot of people are doubting that as well. People are saying, no, they can't make a console that's more powerful. That if it's going to be the PS6, they can't make it the handheld that powerful. It'd be too expensive to do or whatever. And I'm thinking, well, why don't they do what the Switch does, or what could the Switch have done, and what people were thinking about could have been done, where you just have your this PS6 or whatever as a portable device, but yet when it's docked, that dock has that extra GPU and horsepower and all that makes it more powerful, that makes it the PS6 in general. But when it's taken off the dock, it's all like in 1080p or whatever resolution, 60 frames, 120 hertz performance and stuff like that when it's in portable mode. Why not do that? And that would make it like I said, it'd make me actually interested in it if they have some good games to be put on it. But that would be kind of interesting, and that would make sense of them not having a disc drive in the next PlayStation if it is like a Switch-like device that you can it'll be the portable device. It'll be also your console, because once you plug it into that dock, you get all that extra horsepower and boost it up in the performance, and there you go. You got your 4K 120 240 hertz on the TV, but when you undock it, goes down to 1080p 120. That would be cool. I talked about that many times. A lot of people have. We all thought Nintendo would do that, but Nintendo does what Nintendo does, and they're not gonna do it because it would cost more. But because Sony, and Microsoft, of course they could do that. They can do that way more than Nintendo because their hardware. Well, Sony is mostly a hardware company first, or they used to be. Microsoft, we'll see on that, but that would make more sense. I would definitely see more sense on that. More sad news on Sony here. Sony shutting down the PlayStation Store for new purchases on PS3 and Vita. Sony has announced the closure of the PlayStation Store on PS3 and Vita beginning next month in certain countries. Well, the storefront will be shuttered. Sony has stated it will ease the transition by allowing players to still download previously purchased content after following closure dates for the foreseeable future. So they're talking about like Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. PlayStation Store on the PS3 will close starting August 2026. Additional Latin America, Middle East countries, PlayStation Store PS3 will close in late 2026. All of other countries, PlayStation Store on PS3 and Vita will close in 2027. So that means for me, I got to either get a brand new PlayStation account or whatever, or I got to still figure out how to get this one back working because I have a PlayStation account. But it doesn't seem to work because I don't have that email address anymore, and they still haven't helped me. Like, PlayStation support sucks. Xbox support is always better. PlayStation... With Sony and PlayStation support, they suck. They have not helped me one fucking bit. Their support sucks. I've questioned, I've queried, I tried. There's nowhere to call, and I was trying to figure out, how do I get my account back? How do I do this? I emailed them, never got any answers back from them on how to get my account back. They really just suck. That's another reason why I just don't want to ever go to back to PlayStation because Sony just doesn't do their stuff. It sucks. And Microsoft, unfortunately, has it better with the Xbox and support and stuff like that, up to a point. But I might need to get my account because I need to. I want to purchase some of these older titles and games that I do want to play on my PS3 here, which I still have, and my Vita. Eventually, if I ever play on the Vita again, I don't know. I have my Vita. I took the battery out of it. I threw out the battery because that battery was kind of old and I don't think it was working. So I got rid of the battery. I know you can still get Vita batteries, so I'm not worried about that. But I got rid of, like I said, I got rid of the battery for that because that's the thing you do in those devices. But for the PS3, I want to get some of those digital downloads because there's a lot of games that I really like from there and I would like to play. But yeah, but still, overall, it kind of sucks. But they've been supporting the PlayStation 3 and the Vita for a very long time, so I can understand why they want to eventually sunset those. It's about time. Microsoft sunsetted the PS or the Xbox 360, I thought, with the store and stuff like that, right? So I think it's about time. People could still play games on them physically and whatever, and cartridges. You could still get games for the Vita, I guess, via cartridge out there, I guess. But it's been a while since those things out, and they still said you could still keep even after the stores are gone off. The store isn't working on those consoles. You could still download the games to them. So, the ones that you own digitally. So you got that as well. So, but it's the end of those eras. That was a good time. PS3 and Vita. That was a sweet spot in gaming. The 360 was cranking it. The PS3 was cranking awesome stuff. Vita had some great stuff, and then Sony gave up on it too early, and they didn't do anything with it like Sony does. And that's why I said to Sony, I'm like, you guys, I don't trust you guys anymore. And then with the PS4, I'm like, no more PS4. Sony was also talking about it's not realistic for us to absorb all the component cost increases for hardware. Sony states it won't sell hardware at a significant loss as concern grows over the PS6 price. Well, if PS6 price and hardware, excuse me, I'm rubbing my eyebrows here. I've got itchy eyebrows. If that's a concern, then don't put out a PS6 yet until you guys figure out how to get some memory cheaper to these consoles going forward. Maybe that's a good thing. And maybe the Xbox Series console and the PS5 and 5 Pros are good enough for now. I think they're good enough. Maybe we should keep these consoles going for at least until 2028 or something, or 2030. If that's, that's just what I'm saying, because it's not like games are going to get any bigger or faster or more powerful look. They're not going to get any better yet, and with the prices and consumers aren't going to be paying for these next gen. If they do it, it's going to be a bloodbath, even for Sony. I don't even think Sony will be selling as much for the PS6 going forward if they did that and they put it out in 2028 or earlier or something like that. If the marketplace is not cooled down or the marketplace isn't getting stronger and it's getting weaker, I think that's a bad business decision to do that. Even if you did spend all that money in R&D and you got everything like basically somewhat ready and you're trying to get, the memory and storage and stuff, I don't think it's a good time to do that. I think people should wait. But, these are big companies that just have these shareholders up their asses all the time. And it's like, just make more games. Keep these systems going as long as you can, until the whole AI shit goes away or crashes or whatever. And then eventually chips come back to the world, that people can get memory and stuff like that at a cheaper price, and then we can get back to some normalcy, some minor normalcy with this stuff. But I don't know. Again, what do I know? I'm just speaking common sense over here, but yeah, I don't know. If so, would you? And everybody asks this: would you be willing to spend $1,000 on your next console, like a PS6 or a X or a PlayStation? Very few of us could. Very few of us could or would. Shit, I spent $1,000 on my Xbox Rogue Ally X, that handheld. It was worth every penny. Actually, I spent more than that because I bought that. What was it? The 4 or 8 terabyte drive for it. So yeah, but that was worth it. I love that device. And even KFC likes to get in its lickings, even though KFC hasn't had good chicken for a long time now, and their customer service could be a little bit better over there because they can't even get your right chicken orders right or anything. And I haven't been there for a very long time because they just have not been doing chicken right for a while. They're even dunking on Sony as dust settles on the PlayStation shock decision to kill physical game discs. Apparently KFC has their own thing that they put out on their Twitter page saying, let's see here, where is it? I'm looking at it. Where is this? Here we go. Within a year, we'll release the Fried Chicken Pass, KFC continued. You'll get our entire catalog of the modest monthly price. If you pirate the pings on Pinterest will come to your house. So breaking news, breaking news from KFC will stop offering the physical format starting today, wrote on their Twitter account for KFC in Spain, which has over 1 million followers. Products can only be consumed through our app in fake PNG format. Within 1 month, we'll see a release of a DLC with the sauces. That's funny. Yeah. Yep. I love it when fast food chains decide they want to do the whole making fun of the video game industry when they're a failing industry themselves. Because it's not like, KFC. Oh, even Domino's has got something here. Domino's ain't doing that good either, I don't think. I don't know. In response to the trends in the gaming industry, as of the 1st of April 2027, Domino's UK will cease production of physical pizzas and shift to production of digital pizzas only. Consumers will be able to download our full range of delicious pizza codes and, using the power of imagination, enjoy them in an entirely virtual sense. Yep, for two businesses that are also failing out there because of not just price, but of quality, let's just say. But yeah. When you got two failing chicken and pizza companies saying that you suck, that your business model is pretty funny and sucks, that's pretty funny that they're making fun of Sony and people for that. Talking about RAM, we're getting into the games news, so let's quickly do this right now.
Locked and loaded, ready for the fight. Game Talk Newz, gonna set the stage alight.
There we go. I'm just quickly doing that because I'm trying to get through this podcast quickly. So RAM manufacturers have been sued for allegedly price fixing and supply shortages, leading to increased costs because they've done it before. And who would have thought that these people are going to do this kind of thing? You would think these companies would have some morale to them. But you remember when I was talking about how Micron was leaving the consumer market behind, that they were just focusing on corporate and AI RAM going into the near future, and that they're stopping, they did the whole, we're not doing the crucial RAM anymore and stuff like that. Yeah, because they're assholes, and that's they only want to see the big picture. They want to make more money and that's all they care about because they're companies, and companies should be making money, but they're doing it the way of, oh, we're going to short supply, we're going to make costs go up, and we're going to fuck over the people. And then when we come back, we can sell it at triple the cost for this stuff. Yeah, it sounds like it could be that happened before too when they tried doing that, and it's happening again. Another reason we need more competition, especially in the RAM and storage part of the world. We need competition. So fuck you, Paul Thurrott, and anybody else. It doesn't matter if it's cost effective or it's going to take a long time or blah, 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 or if there's going to be too much supply in the future. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, motherfucker. So we might as well start making new fabs and factories and new companies that make this stuff for the consumers, and let the markets decide. Because why not? Because you got these fucking assholes right here fucking everything up for everybody. So what's the harm? What's the harm? I hate people with narrow-mindedness in their thinking. He's supposed to be, and I complain about people like Thurrott a lot when they just got their narrow thinking of everything, and they're so skeptical about everything, and they just can't think outside that box. Everybody thinks inside the box. I think outside the box on what we could be doing, but alas, nobody else seems to want to think outside the box because nobody wants to do it. Like I said, if I had the money, the know-how, if I knew people, I would be definitely doing that. I'd be jumping on that because you could be making some money on that. I would hope maybe Elon might do some of that, but we'll see. Because he's making Terra fabs and stuff like that, and people are laughing at him, but he's doing it here in America. How many other people? So, like I just said, RAM manufacturers have been sued for allegedly fixing prices and supply, leading to increased cost. The class action lawsuit claims Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, which I told you Micron was one of the biggest. They were the Crucial memory, and they got rid of Crucial. So no consumer memory. Been squeezing the supply because they know they're making triple the amounts of what they're putting out and making money on it. So the three largest RAM manufacturers in the world are being sued for allegedly fixing the supply and prices of memory. The sharply rising cost of memory is widely attributed to demand over AI data centers, which, if they were decent companies and they had some actual morale to these companies, they would be like, okay, we're going to sell off this amount of our supply and stuff for your AI, and then the rest of it has to be for consumer. They would split that off. They would make some of that for the consumer, and they would make some of that for the AI and say, okay, this is the line. This is where we draw from selling to here and to you, but everybody gets to get in and get some memory. And then I know you guys at the AI data centers want more of it, but you're going to have to wait. And then consumers will get theirs and stuff, but they don't do that. Micron used to do that with Crucial, but then they said, nah, we just want to make all the money from AI. So we're canceling Crucial and we're just going full selling to AI and data centers and stuff like that. And we're going to make a lot more money. So fuck you, consumers. And I'm like, well, Crucial, if you ever come back and you ever come back in the consumer market again and you start selling memory in the consumer market, I'm going to tell you to fuck off because I'll go elsewhere for my memory because you guys just fucked yourselves in the ass. And if people are smart enough, they will not buy from you in the future. But anywho, now by Law 360, a class action lawsuit filed by the proposed class of individual and business consumers accuses Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron for playing a large part in what's being dubbed Ramageddon by the media. The complaint alleges that the three companies are in cahoots, which make almost all of the world's supply of RAM or memory, have been working together to fix component prices while reducing supply, which could be the real reality there. It accuses the trio of reducing the supply of DDR3 and DDR4 RAM, leading to a sharp increase in price for consumers who use it, and focusing most of its production on HBM, a high-cost, high-bandwidth form of 3D stacked RAM, mainly used for AI data centers instead of consumers, which is why I said Micron got out of the consumer business altogether. The DRAM oligopolists, have simultaneously cut production, coordinated a pivot to HBM and the exit of DDR3 and 4, and otherwise decreased and locked up conventional DRAM supply, while prices charged up the mind-blowing scale to rapidly acclaims. It argues that as DRAM shortages lead to prices rising, still Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron continue to squeeze conventional RAM supply, simultaneously and publicly directing the resources toward less profitable per die HBM, or in some cases, supply junking conventional DRAM supply channels altogether. Micron, like I said. It also states the plan is working as a consumer purchasers of conventional RAM and devices incorporating it have paid subpar competitive prices and have otherwise suffered the impacts of distorted market crippled by behavior of DRAM oligopolists. I think I said that correctly. So they talk about a lot of other stuff. Also claims that even if a new company did try to challenge the trio, the process used to reliably manufacture chips compromised decades of accumulated trade secrets, and U.S. export controls bar the only other procedures in China from acquiring current generation equipment. The practical consequence is that when the three firms restrict supply, no outsider can expand output to undercut them, it claims. Well, that's also another thing, and other people should, at least here, like I said, if they're worried about pushing outside into China and stuff, maybe they should make more here in the United States and some other places and try to get the procedures working and get that built up. I don't know. Somebody can figure out something. It's just like chips. Why is this whole industry in the computing industry so they're so powerful, so big, all this stuff is so technological, but yet we only have very few of these specialized chip manufacturing machines out there, and these memory machines out there. It seems very stupid in this world where we should have some redundancy in everything that is going on in this world, but it seems like that does not happen because that means more money leaving people's pockets or more money people have to spend on stuff. But you would think there'd be more redundancy on all this equipment and stuff going on out there to create this stuff. But again, what do I know? And we did it to ourselves. America did it to ourselves. A lot of other places did it to themselves. And this is why we got this shit. And I think this is happening in California, this lawsuit. I think that's what they were saying, that California something or other was suing them in this. Let's see here. It says the lawsuit notes that the companies were found guilty. Oh, this was before. In the past, back in 2005, Samsung agreed to plead guilty to pay $300 million fine for participating in what the U.S. Department of Justice referred to at the time as the international conspiracy to fix prices in the DRAM market. So they did this before. Hynix also pleaded guilty at the same time and was fined $185 million. And Micron reportedly avoided a fine by reporting the incident and working with prosecutors. So Micron was the ones that were stool pigeons, and they were and going, oh no, it's the other companies that were doing it. What at that time of doing that, they should have just made these guys start making, letting more companies into the market and making RAM and stuff. They should have been forced to let their so-called trade secrets out to let others make RAM and stuff like that. This is why we got this shit, and we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves, people. Sorry, that was the longest news story ever. Also, let's talk more Xbox and PlayStation news here. Xbox's new console Project Helix, folks, will also reportedly not have a disk drive. But before you guys get up in arms on against Microsoft and Xbox this time, at least they're stating that Microsoft is exploring ways to digitize some physical games. Not all, but some. So the Xbox One original or Xbox original games and Xbox 360 games are not on that list to be able to be turned digitized, but from Xbox One and current, they're talking about trying to get those where you can pop in the disc and I don't know, I guess your console or whatever, and get them a digital license for each of those games and be able to have those games indefinitely in a digital future. That's something I was talking about before as well. But I was also saying, I was talking about that before. I wonder if I mentioned it. I put that on the Asha Sharma list or something. If I sent that to Microsoft as a thing that they should do. But yes, but the future Xbox console, the Project Helix console, I guess they're not going to also have a disk drive in that console, so it's going to be diskless. It's going to be all digital. But what I was saying, and I wonder if they can eventually, if this happens and it works, I wonder if eventually they can do the thing like they do with like Xbox backwards compatibility, that they can eventually try to get terms made or special terms or special agreements made with all the game manufacturers out there for most of these games and titles and, you know, licenses and stuff, and try to get a bunch of 360 and Xbox original titles to be able to be digitized. Maybe we got to pay $5 per game or something to get them digitized or something, or $10. I don't know. I would say $5, but I'm sure in the gaming industry and what people want, especially for licenses, because here's the funny thing. When they lose licenses on like stuff for music and stuff, I don't understand why you can't still put out a disc for the future. I don't know why they don't make deals where, oh, okay, even if this game is, we're not going to keep making this game physical, but if people want to keep digitize it or their disc or something, they should put in the clause, hey, they want to digitize this to the console, or we get a license for this, they should be able to have that forever. Why they never thought about that before, I don't know why, but if there's a way that they can get eventually the 360 games and Xbox originals on there, I would do that. That would be cool because I got a lot of 360 games on my shelf. I do got a lot of Xbox One and Xbox Series games as well, so I do got a shit ton of those as well, but I do got a lot of 360 games, and I got some Xbox original games, but yeah, that's why it's we're going to all digital future. What I was thinking, but I'll talk more about this. So there's a poll that was going on, and this is an IGN poll. Do you support an all digital gaming future? I put yes because I'm like, games are too big to be on discs primarily, unless if you have a bunch of discs coming to you. Most of them, 89.6%, said no, which I understand because games get delisted. You can't play certain games on future consoles and stuff like that. But yeah, the whole original Xbox and Xbox 360 is not being supported. That can run into some more issues, especially with their backwards compatibility program that Microsoft Xbox was currently in. Now, no, that was created by like Phil Spencer and them. I don't think Asha Sharma is in the current regime really give a shit about that. We'll see. I don't know if they're gonna try to figure out something with that, but at least they're going in a better direction than PlayStation and Sony. What they're doing, they're just gonna cancel discs and good luck in getting your games to play on your future console, you know, stuff like that. But you know what? If anything, if they wanted the hearts and minds of the people, if Asha Sharma and them at Xbox wanted to really keep the people, keep the gamers, and get the gamers back on their platform, not just by saying, oh, we're just doing we're gonna do our games here. Our games are first party games are gonna all go to the Xbox. You know what they could have did, but they don't do it because I don't know why they don't think about it and they put out stuff like this right away. But you know what they could have said? They could have said, "Oh, okay, Sony's doing that. You know what?" And they could have wait. They could have waited too, but you never know. It could. I don't know if it could change now, but they could have said, "Well, we're gonna have a disk drive on our console, but we'll wait. We'll wait till Sony does bring out their console and it's only digital only, and then we'll tell people before their console comes out. When our console comes out, we could say, hey, guess what, guys? You know when Sony PlayStation said that they're not having disk drives in their new consoles anymore and that they're not providing them? We're still having a disk drive in our console, and guess what? It's fully backwards compatible, or it's still fully or semi. You can still put in some 360 and Xbox One discs into there that are able to be played. Even though I think they could just get a special license to let all the threes. I don't know. I don't know why they can't get like an emulating thing or a chip that allowed 360 games to be played on that new console. Why they couldn't do that? But yeah. But if they did that and they still had a disc drive and they said, hey, guess what? We still have discs. If you want them or not, if you still want to buy with Xbox, we still have discs. You could still get discs for your console. I bet you a lot of gamers would be like, oh, really? Oh, fuck. Sony's dropping the discs. Microsoft's still having the discs. What's going on here? But Microsoft's not doing that. So why would Xbox and Microsoft want to try to take an opposite page out of there, and instead of they're just doing, no, we're not doing discs either. Because I know stamping discs is expensive, and it's like I said, it's cheaper to just go all digital. But if you still offer it, especially if you want to have Blu-ray drives still on the console and whatnot for people that play movies on their consoles and stuff like that, that's still a good feature. But the whole thing is they're not trying to do that. They're not trying to be different. They're just going, oh yeah, we're not doing that either. It seems kind of stupid, and it seems like they just didn't think. It's another we didn't think moment. And that's another reason why I think Asha Sharma is going to be the Grim Reaper of Xbox, because she doesn't think that way. People don't think that way apparently over there. And that's scary to me, because they could have took this advantage and said, oh, we're still going to put in a disk drive, or make available a disk drive on the side like Sony did, where you can pop on your Helix console or whatever if you really want a disk drive. But we'll wait to say that, unless if that's what they're going to do. I don't know. You never know. You never know. I'm not going to count them out just yet. But if Sony goes full, we're not doing a disk drive, and then Microsoft, when they announce their console and then they get closer to selling them, they don't even have to say anything. They could just have people, they could just put their advertisements out for the console and show that it could come with a disk drive on the side, and people could go, what the fuck? There's a disk drive over there that they could put onto the console. What? People will be like, what? Huh? And they don't have to say a damn word about it. They could just keep it quiet. And then when Sony's already done producing all their PS6s and whatnots, and they're eventually going to put it on, and Microsoft goes, hey, guess what? Then that's when Microsoft could strike at the last second and go, hey, guess what? Here at Xbox, we still got the disc drive. Now, it's not included with your Xbox Helix, unless if you buy that extra premium edition, but you could buy it also on the side, like Sony used to do, and you could still play all your games and your 360 and Xbox original games. Happy birthday. Merry Christmas. We just owned Sony again. That would be something. That would be proving to gamers and people out there that, oh, they're taking this seriously. Sure, we're closing studios and canceling games and killing a lot of people's, jobs over here, but we're doing it. But we're really trying to think of. That's when you say, okay, maybe they are trying to think of what they can do behind the scenes, but they want to still make sure that you're going to be happy with your next gen console. But that's how I think. I think outside the box, people. They need somebody like me at Xbox to think outside that box so that I could say, hey, why don't we not say that we're canceling physical titles and still eventually make them? Even though you don't make as much money from them, but you could if you do it this way going forward with games and stuff. Do not make your games physical, make them digital, like I said. And then eventually, when that game has been patched and whatnot, you can sell a special collector's edition disc for the future when it's all said and done, and people can buy it again for $70 and or more, depending on what kind of collector's edition disc it is, and you can make more money. And plus, it's a disc; it'll all be on a disc or discs, and you can make more money. And on top of that, you'll still have a disc drive that people can either want or not want, and they can have it, and they can play their 360, Xbox One, Xbox stuff, whatever series and beyond. And it's like, that would be the smartest thing that they could do to get the hearts and minds of gamers out there going, well, Microsoft's doing that. They got the power, they got that performance. You can play either PC or Xbox games on this thing, and it has the disc drive, and you can play your Xbox One and stuff. Sony, you want us to buy all new games and digital licenses for all your games only? No discs? Microsoft, Xbox looking a lot better again, doesn't it? But alas, I'm just speaking out of my ass, I guess, thinking outside the proverbial box. But that's what I do. That's what Mr. Mike does. Gamer boy Mr. Mike always loves to think outside that box, but who knows? At least PlayStation's ditching physical games unlikely to influence Nintendo's plans, analyst says. But here's the thing, Nintendo's kind of gotten rid of physical games because they're doing those game carts. And those things are not really games in the boxes, and they're mostly just digital codes on a cartridge and stuff, right? So technically, they're not doing physical games. So I call bullshit on that because Nintendo already went sort of digital with the Switch 2. So what are they talking about? What are they talking about? Enough said on Nintendo, because Nintendo doesn't matter to me right now. They're the Apple of the video game market and world. They live their own destiny right there. I'm not gonna harsh on that. I'm not getting a Switch 2 either. So, but talking about stupidity, the ESA here, the good old ES of A claims private Minecraft servers are illegal and piracy in Stop Killing Games hearing. What? You mean the thing that Microsoft and Xbox allows to be still done with your Minecraft to have your own private server is illegal and creates piracy? How does it do that? How does that do that? Are they sure they're not accidentally making the mistake of not calling it Minecraft servers, but they should be Roblox servers or something like that? Did they actually fuck up the name because they're just thinking of Minecraft all the time? So apparently, this is a fucking weird story. I don't know. I haven't heard too many people. Actually, I haven't heard anybody talking about this. I'm the only one, and this is an IGN story. But apparently, the ESA has made the head-scratching claim that private Minecraft servers are illegal. Okay? Arguing that they're considered a form of piracy in the recent hearing. I don't know what piracy that is, but okay. So during a California State Senate hearing over the Protect Our Games Act. Okay, so this is California, so no wonder we got some stupidity here. A Stop Killing Games bill that would force game publishers to ensure games remain playable if servers are shut down. Assemblyman Chris Ward was questioned by the committee about how feasible it would be to keep games running on private servers if official support concluded. Ward noted that both Minecraft and Call of Duty utilize community servers, meaning it's a solution that already exists in some cases. Okay. However, the ESA's vice president of state government affairs, okay, Jennifer Gibbons, female. Sorry, but female leadership nowadays does not mean diddly squat nowadays, because it seems like these female women leaders are going a little insane in the membrane nowadays. Insane in the membrane. They're a little insane and they don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what shrooms and shit they're eating or smoking, but okay, let's continue on. So Jennifer Gibbons objected to his claim and stated that these are not officially sanctioned servers. What are you talking about? These are totally sanctioned servers because Microsoft, aka Xbox, aka Mojang, sells official servers. Plus, you can have your own server that they make the software to have for you to do to have your own personal Minecraft server. I've done it. I haven't done it recently because that seems like the server isn't working correctly for me, but maybe in the near future I could get that up and running again. But they allow you to do your own servers, either purchase them for your own personal private servers, or you can do it with their software. Okay. And I don't know about Call of Duty, but I guess Call of Duty has community servers. I don't know. I don't play on that, but okay. But they're both from Microsoft, and I'm sure Microsoft would hate it if they were losing money or they weren't making, if it didn't clash with their, I'm sure they would have shut that shit down if it was like something in there hurting their bottom line. If they're like, no, we don't want you to have personal private servers for your Minecraft or your Call of Duties. No. Okay. So she says they're illegal. They're not in any way affiliated with Microsoft, even though Microsoft does provide the software for them. Microsoft for Minecraft has gotten a lot of criticism because of these community servers are not employing the same safety standards as Microsoft does on their Minecraft servers. Yeah, but they're personal people's servers. Excuse me for a sec. Okay, I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. My nose was acting up. Yeah, but these are people's, like I said, these are people's private servers. These are our servers for our houses, for our people, for our friends and family and anybody that we allow into. You're telling me that people can't just own and run their own servers? I can't run my media server that I have up in my bedroom, for all my movies and stuff that I can watch and play and anywhere I want. You're telling me I can't do that. You're telling me as a free American cannot do what I want with my own private personal servers. So you're telling me I'm doing something illegal. You're telling me that these people that make their own Minecraft servers with Microsoft software that does it cannot do that. Because it doesn't do the safety thing. Oh, the safety thing. Well, if people want the safety thing, then they go to the official Microsoft servers or Minecraft servers and stuff and Call of Duty servers that they pay for, and then they can do that. So it's stupidity. That means you just don't want people to have free choice out there, and you don't want people to have freedom, and you're trying to restrict freedom from this. And what does piracy have to do this? So I'm just gonna go on. So private servers akin to the black. Okay. They're not employing the same safety standards that Microsoft does with their Minecraft servers. Gibbons was asked by the committee member if private servers are akin to a black market for video games, and Gibbons answered yes. The ESA executive went on to state that they even consider these servers as piracy, and that have lawsuits pending against private servers right now. How can you do that? You can't. That's stupid. That's stupidity. Yes, says Gibbons. In fact, we are considering it piracy. We have two pending lawsuits against private servers right now, and the United States Trade Representative, USTR, in their Notorious Markets reports on counterfeiting and piracy has named some of these big private servers as notorious market. It sounds so stupid. This is also stupid. This is coming from this lady that's in control of is part of the ESA is a representative, and she sounds fucking stupid. These are people, officials that I don't vote in. We don't vote in. I don't know who votes in these. It's supposed to be from big game companies. I can understand if they had these special servers that steal people's like data, credit card information, shows nude pictures or something on them, or you know, steals games or whatnot. I can understand if that's the kind of things that goes on the servers, but if not, then who cares? I can put up my server anytime I want. If they try to shut me down and sue me, I tell them to fuck right off, and it's my freaking right to be able to have my own personal server because Microsoft gives the software for them. I'm just looking to see what else because they keep talking about it. So bypass games that require subscription service such as World of Warcraft. Those servers allow players to get around key piece of the game rather than serving as an extension of the existing experience. Ultimately, let's see here. No. I'm just looking. There's a lot of stuff on this, and I don't understand half this stuff. While publishers may take different approaches, all publishers reserve the right to exercise their rights against IP infringement. Yeah, and if Microsoft finds some of these servers unfitting or unwilling to be servers, then they should be able, they'll be able to shut them down themselves. They'll be able to block them, whatever, and go after them themselves. They don't need this person from the ESA trying to make them legitimate because Microsoft, aka Mojang, gives the software out for free to make your own Minecraft servers and such. Let's see here. I'm just reading what other people. It's been. Let's see. I'm listening to looking at all the comments. Oh yeah. Sony about to delete the hundreds of movies from digital libraries without refunds due to licensing shifts. That's funny too. A lot of stuff going on stupidly. Yep. And this guy, like I was just saying, Minecraft servers are often running a server distributed by Microsoft, and they're in no way illegal. Plus Microsoft, unless if it's like the Java version, the Bedrock edition was created because Microsoft wanted to sell all their own skins and stuff in their own shop so they can make more money. So yes. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Update. An ESA representative just issued a new updated version of their previous statement. Private servers. And I guess this just came up because I didn't even see this before. Private servers that host and distribute copyrighted game content without authorization infringe on intellectual property, IP rights of the game publishers. While publishers take the different approaches, all publishers reserve the right to exercise their rights against IP infringement. The provision in the CAAB 1921 that proposed that these servers are a legitimate alternative to keep games running raises concerns about a publisher's ability to enforce their IP rights. In addition, private servers operate with no oversight from the publisher and do not uphold the same trust and safety standards. This could create an unsafe environment for players and be counter to the industry's commitment to fostering safe and fun gameplay for all players. There's a lot of games out there, especially on Steam and stuff, that people can host their own servers for that they can play with other people. Are you telling me that's all bad too? That sounds like Nazi talk right there. That sounds like commie talk, lady. I guess this lady from the ESA, this Jennifer Gibbons, is a commie. She's a commie. She's one of the new commies. She's like that one games lawyer that was trying to get games off the market for saying everything was too violent. Stupidity. Just stupidity. If Microsoft didn't want people to have their private servers, I'm sure they would have locked all that shit down. They would have told Mojang no more letting people run their own private servers, and it would be done. They would close all the loopholes, whatever, do some different weird, wacky shit. I'm pretty sure they could do that. And I'm pretty sure there's nobody's talking about, oh, my kid just got flashed on Minecraft. You hear a lot about that shit on Roblox, but I don't hear that on Minecraft. let's keep going. We got to hurry up. I said this podcast was going to be short, and it already went past 2 hours. So I lied again. One of the first cases of the Steam Machine Red Line of Death shows up just like a real console. Well, I guess this ain't a real console because they said it's just like a real console. So apparently, this red light of death indicates that the GPU is failing, and that the machine cannot boot up and stuff because the GPU dies. One, I guess, Reddit user stated that their Steam machine was pretty cool and it was running really good for 20 minutes. And then when it worked, and then after an update, it just died. And then it gave him the red light of death. Oh, man, that sucks. I guess there's not that many out there. Maybe this is just a small problem. Maybe there's just a few. You can have a few, machines fail. They're trying to make them as fast as they can, and they're trying to come out in a time where everything is chaos. So, unfortunately, this could happen to some people, but it looks like, yeah, that could happen. But, yeah, interesting. Red light means GPU, CPU failure. Huh. Interesting. So we'll be on the lookout for if there's any more updates on that Steam machine. Red line of death. Star Wars Eclipse developers on strike as Quantic Dream reportedly plans to lay off 115 workers. So apparently, the Star Wars. So earlier this year, the French studio best known for its hit single-player offerings, Heavy Rain, Beyond, Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, put its competitive multiplayer game called Spellcasters Chronicles into early access, which swiftly got shut down and abandoned a few weeks later. At the time, Quantum Dreams stated it would go through a reorganization as a result. Because one game failed, they're going to go for a reorg, apparently. People over there over at Quantic Dream or employees are on strike, and they're saying they're not continuing work on Star Wars Eclipse going forward until things have been fixed and stuff, and that their concerns have been met better. They're calling bullshit on them. That's what they're saying. Star Wars Eclipse was revealed in 2021, and we haven't seen much on the game since. Quantum Dream have on several occasions said the project is very difficult to be branching. Choosing your own adventure style blockbusters has defined as a studio savoir, blah 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 blah. But they're on strike. They're not continuing to work on the game. They're trying to save. Some of them were saying they're trying to save Star Wars Eclipse's shaky production, as the game allegedly can't be completed without the 115 employees in danger of losing their jobs. So, yeah, they got the balls in the vice with Quantum. That's good. You can't let some of these developers break your balls out there and fire people. We got enough of that going on. Hard business. Something that's interesting, sort of in the gaming news, even though this is outside. This is the entertainment part of it. Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2 is finally coming out. Oh, goddamn it. I got this. Coming out this fall, Netflix confirms. The wait for the second season of Cyberpunk Edge Runners that follows new characters is almost here. Almost over and almost here. And I'm like, okay, because I saw the trailer for the teaser trailer for Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2. Looks interesting. Looks very interesting. And I hope it's just as good as the first one. Hopefully they maybe bring in Lucy as a guest character or something. If it's in the same, the same exact, they're saying it's in the same exact, what do you call it, Night City and all that. So I would love to, I'd be interested. I will definitely watch this when it comes out in the fall. I'm I'm excited. And I wonder if, I know they said that the first one was supposed to be the only one. They didn't say anything about that this second Edge Runners would be the only one. Like they didn't say, oh, we're just doing Edge Runners 2 and we're not going to do it anymore. Because if this does gangbusters 2, I bet you maybe Netflix and people would want a third season of this. But to me, this happened pretty quickly. Seems like they got this up and running and pretty quickly to me. I don't know. When was the first Edge Runners? I forgot. Time goes by so quickly for somebody like me. But yeah, fall of 2026. I'm interested. I'm interested in this. And like I said, if it does good, I would definitely hope that we would see Edge Runners 3. Maybe continue on. Why not? People want that anime. I want that anime. Give me Edge Runners 3. I'll buy that. I'll buy the Blu-ray right after too, because I know they usually sell the Blu-ray of that stuff from Netflix eventually. Skip this one. Let's see here. Oh, how about this? Talking more about Cyberpunk and Edge Runners and all that stuff. A great foundation for our upcoming projects in this universe, CD Projekt hails Cyberpunk 2077 as it hits an incredible 40 million copies sold to date. Whew. So 40 million copies. That's 5 million copies from the last time the developer announced Cyberpunk 2077 sales back in November when it hit 35 million copies. So as of right now, a game that people originally were saying was bunch of garbage and broken and all that, and then they spent tirelessly fixing it up and stuff, has sold 40 million copies already. Damn. Even after when the game was pulled from Sony's PlayStation Store as well. And they worked hard to make Cyberpunk 2077 a really good game, and I think they did it. I went back to it for a little bit afterwards. I still got it pre-installed on my computers. I should go back to it once in a while, but yeah, it was a good game. I played it when it was all broken. It was still a good game for me, even though I didn't get any of the music from it. But I listened to that music after the fact because I have the music soundtracks for it. But 40 million copies. It deserves it. It's a good franchise. Cyberpunk is a great franchise. I wonder how the next Witcher game, The Witcher 4, is going to do. 40 million copies. Not close to Rockstar's GTA sellings, but shit, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. And final news here before we let go of this somewhat smaller-ish podcast that I promised. Doom the Dark Ages Revelations DLC targets a 10 to 12 hours of gameplay, with 40% of that being end game content. So game-wise, this DLC should please fans of Doom Eternal's more aerial-focused combat. So I guess this is going to be more of that jumpy, I don't know about that, folks, but we'll see. When Doom the Dark Ages Revelations, the upcoming campaign DLC for the last year's excellent modern Doom prequel, was first announced at Xbox Showcase last month, one thing jumped out. The classic Doom 2 map, visible for the first few seconds of the trailer. As a huge fan, this is coming from an IGN guy, of the original pair of Doom first-person shooters, long before he fell in love with the recent trilogy. Interest in this DLC suddenly skyrocketed. Let's see here. So in the celebration of Doom games, Martin stated, "We've always treated all our Doom games as canon. We have never had the chance to explore who he was as a Slayer before he was the Slayer. He was a Marine. His name was Flynn Taggart. So in Revelations, we go back in the nightmare levels and we tell some of the Flynn Taggart story. These are modernized versions. Co-Stuart Marty Stratton added, speaking about the look of the classic levels, specifically history with the graphics turned up." Interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. So they're being selected about the canon as of their right. Let's see here. The somewhat obscure novel. I never knew there was novels of it, but I'm sure there is. There's a lot of talk here, but I don't know nothing about it. So his name is Flynn Taggart. Okay. Gotcha. All I can say, folks, I hope it's good. I did like Doom the Dark Ages. It was amazing. And I guess this drops on... Oh, so Doom the Dark Ages Revelations drops on July 7th for PC, PS5, and Series X and X. Or X and S. So I'll have to wait and see how this does, you know. I'll have to probably pick it up. I wonder what it's costing. Is it like $35 or $30 or something like that? Let's see. Let's see if they got some of the deals, if they got the DLC for pre-order here on the Xbox store. Of course there's an update. Why wouldn't there be an update Xbox for PC? It can't just update in the background. It always got to go bang, update. Let's see here. Minecraft Marketplace summer sale. See, look at that. They're selling so much of that stuff right now. I'm surprised they don't got no Doom stuff here where they can... Usually they would promote that. Let's see here. So Doom the Dark Ages Revelations. Let's see here. Let's see. It's DLC. So is this gonna be something that's like... Oh, there we go. Dark Ages add-on. How much is your add-on? Doom the Dark Ages. Is it just considered a premium upgrade? Is that what? Because I'm seeing it here. X is the campaign DLC is included with Doom the Dark Ages Premium Edition and Premium Upgrade. So if I want this, I got to pay for the Premium Upgrade, which is $34.99. So basically, this DLC is $34.99 if you want it. If you want to buy it separately, a little expensive. It's almost $40, but you get 10 to 12 hours. It says. So if your 10 to 12 hours is worth $40, then, or $35, then go for it. If not, well, then maybe hold off. I'm going to add it to my wish list because I'll wait to see what people think of it. But it would be something interesting for me to pick up and play, as you would speak, for something like that. Yeah, I would be interested in playing that DLC. If it's good, $35. Probably, because like I said, I didn't spend a dime on Doom the Dark Ages because I got Game Pass. You know, I hate to say that. So if it's good enough story DLC, sure. I'm gonna say they can have my $35. But if it's getting mixed reviews, if it's not looking like I want it to, then I'll wait till it goes a little cheaper on sale down the road when they have their big always game add-ons, games and add-on sales, because that stuff is going to go on sale, especially that DLC. That's going to go on sale quicker than you would think. It usually does, but who knows? So we're going to end this podcast. Me wishing you guys a happy after 4th of July. I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I hope I do. I'm just going to say, even though the gaming market, I'm trying to leave us with some happiness in gaming. I know a lot of people out there, a lot of gamers and game podcasters in the industry and whatnot have just been doubting and laying on the doom and gloom. I'm going to be more positive at ending this podcast. My thing is, doesn't matter what's going on. Shit is happening all over the gaming industry. And I cannot speak for any of the developers and people making the games. But as gamers in the gaming community that plays a lot of games or still plays a lot of games that just doesn't play the same game over and over again, unfortunately, you do not count as those other people that play multiple different games out there. But for people that play more games, multiple games, all the games, stuff like that, like me, that plays all types of different games out there, let's just think for a second. Doesn't matter what happens to these big companies and corporations. Remember, they don't have your best interests in heart. They're going to come. They're going to go. You got a lot of indies out there. They'll stick around as long as people buy their products and their games and enjoy their visions. And then if you're people like me that does all that you can to save as much money as you can, you get those deals, you subscribe to Game Pass, you do those Microsoft reward points like I do because I'm earning those points fast for that cheaper GTA purchase in the near future. It's still a long way to November, so I'm gonna have that $50 gift card in no time, maybe more. But still, if you learn how to do that stuff, you learn how to save. You wait for deals. Steam's always got Steam sales and stuff like that. Build up your catalog, build up your backlog like I do and others do. Then the future doesn't look as bad because you always have games in the backlog. Now, no, people are going to say, well, what if they cancel all those or they go offline and blah, 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 blah. Well, if that happens, then the world must be coming to an end because I'm pretty sure even in our digital backlogs, we will be still safe to be able to play them for years on years end. Now, no, that doesn't seem like the case when it comes to Sony when they're taking off people's movies, but that's a different thing. They have different licensing terms for movies and stuff like that. And anytime somebody says you purchase this, you can purchase a license to own this movie. That doesn't mean you own the movie. Same thing if you purchase a license for the music. Eventually my MP3s will go off like Amazon. Like I'll buy my MP3s from Amazon. Eventually those might discontinue and then I can't download the MP3 anymore. But as long as I have it downloaded to my computer, I can, it's an MP3. It's not locked to the service or anything. Same thing with movies. I think I got like a couple movies from Amazon Prime that I purchased because I'm like, they don't have them for rental, but I want to try them and watch them, so I purchased them. I don't care if they're on there or not, if they go away, but I understood that from day one. And people should understand that content will go away. Now with games, the licensing can end, the games could go away, but you could still play them. Hopefully, if the servers are still running. But there's a lot of games out there. There's a lot of things to try. There's a lot of sales going on. I think there's more sales going on now than there has ever been. I've been seeing sales for games on everything, most platforms. I haven't been looking at PlayStation, but I've been looking at Steam, Xbox, sometimes Switch, a little less on Switch too, but more so on Xbox and Steam and stuff like that, which Steam is mainly the main platform for most people. And then for me, Xbox is my platform. And like I said, I've been finding deals after deals after deals on digital games and content. And I'm like, I'll be fine. People will be fine. And now that hardware costs are through the roof, everything else is through the roof, and they want your money as badly as they do, we're going to see more sales. We're going to see more sales, mostly on digital content, not physical, but digital. But I think it's still going to be, like I said, even if the big market goes under someday and everything comes crashing down, we still will have that niche little gaming market. There will still be games coming out somewhere, somehow. And I think we'll be fine. We're just going to have to adapt, evolve from the times, but I think we'll be fine. And that's the best I can do. Like I said, I got a big backlog. I've been slowly playing through the backlog. Like I said, I'm playing that stupid game BulletStorm right now. That's in my backlog. Finally going to play it, going to beat that, then I'm going to go on to the next thing. And then I'm playing some of the main games. And then I got the new game, old game, new resynced game, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. That's coming out this week. Sorry, I was thinking of next week because I'm previous. It's coming out Thursday. I'm going to play that on Friday as a first gameplay. We'll see how that is. Yeah. So everybody, just look on the bright side. Keep the consoles that you keep the PCs working, keep them all dust free. Try to keep them for a long time. Save some money, have some fun. I don't know what else to tell you. But we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go enjoy my 4th of July now. I'm gonna go edit this on maybe I'll wait to edit it tomorrow. It doesn't matter. It's already recorded, so I can just edit it and upload it for Monday. But like I said, before I go, I'll say this again. This podcast goes out Mondays, each and every Monday, unless if I say otherwise, which is very few in between. This Wednesday, got episode 3 of my Game Through series with Halo Infinite. It's going to be my episode 3 of me playing Halo Infinite on Game Through, so get ready for that. See how I'm doing in that. And then Friday is going to be a live edition of First Gameplay where I play Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I almost said Shadows again. Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced on my Xbox Series console, and I will be streaming that Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/OldFreakyGamer-2023 or OldFreakyGamer on YouTube, twitch.tv/OldFreakyGamer, and OldFreakyGamer.com if you want to watch live 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So I'm going to have fun with that. So again, until next time, folks, I am Mr. Mike signing out saying game on, game hard, world conquest. I'm pushing this gaming button, and this show is now game over, everybody. So everybody, see ya.
Game over.